Всем привет, с вами Веб, и да, вот он, Хэллоуин. Значит что? Значит да, самое время вспомнить про 01A51 CD0. Напомню, на прошлый Хэллоуин я взял интервью у создателя этого замечательного веб-сериала. Вон там ссылка появилась в углу, кликай не пожалеешь. А сейчас я решил перевести все выпуски режиссерских комментариев по 01A51 CD0. Если кто не знает, Энтони давным-давно выложил на YouTube серию видео, где он рассказывает, как создавал свой веб-сериал. Так вот, я и решил, почему бы и не перевести столь уникальный контент и не показать его вам. Хочу сразу отметить, в этом видео будет минимум моих комментариев. Здесь они просто излишни. Если вы еще не смотрели мои видео по 01A51 CD0, то посмотрите, все они опять же есть в подсказках к этому видео. А если смотрели, то и это видео вам наверняка покажется интересным, потому что за тем, как кто-то творит, всегда интересно наблюдать. Так что да, всем счастливого Хэллоуина и мы начинаем.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So, several years ago, I made a little horror series, anthology type deal for YouTube, and I wanted to do some director's commentary for it. If you want to see the unedited, episodes, you can check the link in the description to find the channel it was uploaded on. But I'm going to be doing director's commentary over most, if not all, of the episodes. I haven't decided if I want to do some or all yet, but I just want to talk about this series at great length because I think it's something that the newer subscribers to this channel will appreciate. I made this series on a shoestring budget. I think I spent maybe $200 total, not counting the camera equipment, which I already had. So this goes to show that you can make something without a large budget, without professional actors, without professional writers, a big production studio, etc. This is going to be just my thoughts on how things panned out and how I did certain things and the filming locations, etc. So I'll see you on the next one. Alright, the first official episode of recordings.
Got the camera here because my old one is misplaced or something of that nature.
So it starts out with me misplacing my
cool
camera.
Little camera though. Picked it up for about.
And if you look really closely and pause it around
the camera
here,
was pretty glitched and stuff.
whenever I have the camera looking out the window or the door there, you can actually see
But
somebody
yeah, we're gonna
in the
at
background.
The old
Very, very
Redwood
subtle.
Park now, and I'll continue this vlog when I get there.
But the general idea I had with this series was
Anthony and I are out here, walking around
my
the park.
character was going to experience paranormal activity in my home, which would intrigue me to kind of start my own, you know, ghost hunting type show.
Around here. Yep.
Sort of like an independent like found footage type ghost hunting show thing experience for local places around North Carolina where I lived.
Like we tell them what exactly it is. Like it'll reveal.
However, this is way too simple and cliche, so
So,
I wanted to do something
just I don't know. There's several
completely,
places
not necessarily completely different, but I wanted to just throw a curveball,
stuff and
throw a wrench into the plans, and started out really boring and cliche, and then just like twist it completely.
Yeah,
I-
Pokemon, right?
Yeah. I actually want to talk about that in a second. Clear things up.
But
I thought you were about to say, I don't want to talk about it.
me and my buddy here, he helped me record it. He's holding the camera right now. That's me, the bearded fellow,
What was I saying?
which not much has changed in 5 years or so since I last recorded this.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like urban legends and.
But
haunted places
yeah, he decided to help me, so he's only in a few parts.
We're gonna do
I wanted this to kind of center just around me because
camera and investigate 'em.
I'm kind of the only person I know with,
Record whatever we find because there's one place there's like this haunted.
you know, acting experience. I guess a lot of people don't know that, but
Don't like.
I did take a professional acting course for around 6 months to a year. It's been a long time, but
Loud-ass air conditioner or something.
I learned quite a bit, and I wanted to apply it in this series. and I'm by no means like a Leonardo DiCaprio, but for no budget,
I'm pretty stoked.
only depending on myself, I think I did a decent job. So this beginning vlog here
It's a historical church.
is just
like,
us
it's
kind of
been
talking about a
all
real
day,
haunted
pretty much.
location that we're gonna visit later on.
I've actually been in.
Pretty sure he's
the
telling me a
door.
real story, by the
They
way.
keep locked all the time.
We didn't rehearse this
And
at the time of
meet a
filming.
couple friends
The
on
first
the
place we end up going is an actual haunted location.
yeah,
It's called the Chapel of Rest. It's in Happy Valley, North Carolina.
Yeah. Okay.
So we cut for a phone call.
See you later. Bye.
This was actually a ploy to get my friend in place here. There's gonna be someone. It's a friend of mine in a mask and like a black outfit behind a light pole up here, and I'll point it out when when he comes up. But
You know, it's like a kid on Christmas and he gets something that's not that good.
Yeah.
But he, you know, he like thinks it's good, but it turns out to be shitty, kind of. Like I didn't. It's hard
Get your
to-
hopes up.
And
is that what
in-
you're saying?
Yeah, like
in the
yeah,
very
really
beginning here, I wanted it to be
taking
very,
out
very
that-
subtle. I didn't want anyone to even really see it
Christmas thing, had to
until
be, like, 60.
later on. But you can see him under that light pole there in the middle. If you're on desktop, if you're on mobile, it may be kind of hard to see, but it's very, very faint and subtle. But I like the suspense
Like,
build up
most people pointed out that the
and not
paragraphs
just
first
throwing
letters
everything
were
at
all-
you immediately.
When the letters were all put together, they spelled out lies. You can actually take the title of the letter, which was like a lucky letter,
Yeah.
and take the first letter of those, and it's like all lies. So I know it's not coincidence now. And people pointed that
Here
out.
I'm talking about a previous series I did.
So I wouldn't
I
trust
kind of
it,
connected the two
it was probably
because they seem like they would connect. I feel like it would be like a natural progression.
that keeps, like, it's really bizarre.
But yeah, this first little part was just like to plant some subtle seeds of something isn't exactly right.
Vlog.
And I bet my friend down there next to that light pole probably scared the shit out of people if they actually saw him, because he's in all black wearing like a monkey mask or something. So, but I'll see you on the next one, guys. What's going on, guys?
Okay, hello,
Welcome back to
everyone.
another
We're on the
director's
way.
commentary on recordings, my little horror series I did for
What are you
YouTube.
pointing at? Oh.
This episode is still kind of in line with the red herring plan
I've been
of
up there. I think we said this in the last episode.
going to actual haunted
I went up there,
locations
but
and just filming
hopefully
what happens.
it's not locked.
But there is some pretty cool stuff in this one, which I will point out to you. My friend Frank is
It's
driving.
like an alarm system.
He was the guy that was walking and holding the camera in the
Really?
first
If it
part.
does, it's probably after hours. Like, I think it's when
For
they
those
put
wondering,
the-
this is a real
like, as
haunted
long as
location in
they
North
keep it open
Carolina.
place, it
It's
should
in Happy Valley, North Carolina,
should be
I
good
think
to
it's
go.
called.
Okay, I'm back now.
It's
We
a
didn't talk
pretty
about
beautiful
that.
drive too, pretty scenic drive. So if you're ever out that way,
Television
check it out. I don't think it's open at nighttime.
Well,
Well, not legally, at least. So yeah, I've been in this place a few
we'll check it
times.
out and,
It is pretty creepy.
Hopefully, get some cool stuff on camera.
Didn't really see too much. I mean, I actually uploaded, I think Recordings Part 3 is just footage that was recorded from the church. And you hear like weird kind of creaky footstep sounds. But it's such an old creaky building, it's hard to say what that is. Let's hear Frank's story here. Supposed story here, or whatever.
Which one?
The reason why, like, this is a haunted location.
Well, there's two.
There's two.
Well, no, they're,
I've only
they're
heard one.
interconnected. But I don't know when it was, but supposedly there was a preacher here like a long time ago,
Yeah.
and he had an illegitimate child with somebody,
Mhm.
and obviously it's frowned upon,
Yeah.
and he basically like couldn't live with the shame or something. Like the baby died like a week or two after it was born,
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't live with it, the shame of having an illegitimate child, and I guess they grieved over when the kid died.
Yeah.
And so he hung himself supposedly in the church, and I know this spot where there's like some kind of mysterious stain.
Why is the rope here? Just for.
I think that's the bell.
Oh.
And
Dirt.
it's some kind of electronic bell, so don't pull it.
I'm not gonna pull it.
But yeah, supposedly that's a spooky bloody stain. And but I can verify that this part of the story is true. Out there in the graveyard, they didn't bury him with everybody else, and they didn't bury the kid with everybody else. He's an illegitimate kid, and
They both
obviously
were
the guy,
looked out
the
upon.
preacher hung himself. Yeah, so they were both not to be buried with everyone else, and so there are actually 2 stones outside of the cemetery wall on the top left corner
That's creepy.
for the baby and the preacher. The baby has a proper stone with dates on it, but the preacher just has a creepy rock.
So you may notice the audio is kind of shady there. My camera work is not ever like pointing really at him, or it's kind of just all over the place. That's intentional. I didn't want this to seem produced at all. I wanted it to seem super like amateur. So that is actually all intentional. Me like darting the camera around, walking away as he's telling the story so the audio isn't clear. I just wanted it to be very realistic of someone just trying to film something that hasn't filmed anything before. Here's where you see the figure.
A few creeks and stuff, but it's like windy.
To the left of the big white penis-looking pillar.
Where'd you say that grave was, Frank?
That guy holds still here for a second. You can see him behind the wall to the left of the big white pillar there. Very, very faint, like I said. I wanted everything to be very, very just in the background, hard to find, you know?
1927, 1927.
And yeah, this is a real thing. I don't know if the urban legends are true, but these 2 graves are outside of the cemetery walls there, so...
Okay, so I wake up this morning, Saturday morning.
Oh,
here,
another figure.
After the whole haunted church deal last night, and I actually found that camera I've been
Behind the
missing.
car through the window.
It's, where is it? Yeah, it's back here. Now the weird thing is...
Yeah, this is the camera that I said I misplaced in the first episode.
I swear I did, and it was not back here. So...
And I
don't
couldn't
know if
find
I'm-
it. That actually plays a
I
part.
don't know if I'm losing my mind or whatever, but so I guess I bought this camera here. I'm using
Again, all these sightings of people,
I found my old camera,
very, very
so
subtle.
I guess if one camera
But
breaks
I'll see you guys
down,
on the next one.
it's really weird.
And I'll be sure to point out any kind of weird thing like that I put in there in the series that you may have
Well,
missed.
I throw that in
Peace
there.
out.
I don't think it's like paranormal or anything, but I definitely think I'm going crazy or something. So.
Okay guys, welcome back to my recording
aware of
series.
the reoccurring people
Director's
that seem to
commentary.
be-
So this whole thing
definitely
about
saw
sending me
them,
screenshots on Twitter and like
whoever it
noticing
is,
people in the
I believe it's
background.
the people that are, you know, in the
This was a thing,
alternate
but
weird channel that keep leaving me
I
weird
used
video
like
responses.
dummy accounts
I don't know who you
to kind
are.
of do it,
I don't know what you want
to entice other people to do it.
but if you keep doing this shit, I'm gonna
Because
call
they
it
are
cops,
really hard to see.
and you're gonna get your ass arrested. I
So
haven't checked
in this
out
part,
your
it
channel
kind of takes a break from the whole
response videos,
haunted
what
location thing
they have been
to
doing, but today
address the
I'm gonna have to
people
check mine
following
out.
me, and I thought this was a pretty cool little
it was
touch.
taped right here, kind of became taped again, but it just says.
I took a
watch
pretty
me
realistic approach, and I just
I
said,
opened it up
you know, I'm
here.
gonna call the cops if you keep doing it,
and what I found
which is a pretty logical
was
thing.
This
So if you do hear a noise there, it's actually a real thing. I didn't make that
probably
noise.
something old on it that
Anytime something like weird happened or real happened, I just put it in the series,
whoever
which is
you
pretty
are,
cool.
though, stop.
Sadly, YouTube
Anyway,
removed a lot of the video response, or they removed the whole feature altogether,
Stop.
so a big part of the story is kind of missing now, if you go back and watch the videos. Some of the things I'm referring to in the video are the video responses left to the pertaining videos, but YouTube got rid of that feature without giving a shit what the creators thought back in the day. So that kind of sucks. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's a shorter one, but I'm going to keep going here, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my recordings director's commentary. So this is an interesting part. I skipped parts 3 and 4 because those were part 3 was just like the red herring going back to the kind of legit thing. I wanted it to kind of die down, like it seemed like they quit after I threatened to call the police on them from 2.5. And then 4, I got just a weird email that's mostly dialogue, and it's fairly long, so I didn't want to go over that as well. You can just watch that one.
It's rumored to be satanic. I've actually heard stories that.
So this is a real place as well. I think it's in Catawba County, North Carolina, I want to say.
Religious affiliation. I can't remember what it was.
But there was rumored to be a satanic cult there back in the day. Pretty much all bullshit. There's basically no proof to it. But it's cool lore. I'm filming this one with an ex-girlfriend. Well, currently an ex-girlfriend. And I didn't really tell her a lot about what we were doing, or what I was doing with this series. I think I just kept her in the dark and I said, hey, we're gonna go check out a haunted place. Quote unquote haunted place. You gonna come? And she's like, yeah.
It's only 7 o'clock.
So
It gets like pitch ass black.
I did that because I didn't want anything to seem like acted.
Fucking daylight savings time.
Because she, as far as I know, was not a professional actress. And although I have experience, I'm not either, so
Yeah, there it is.
you know.
Goat Farm Road, right there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's they can see enough.
Real, I promise.
I really like these. There's a few parts to this series that are filmed like this, and I think it's creepy as hell. Something about just driving at night with a camera pointed at the road is very,
Check it out. Are there any cars behind us?
very unnerving.
All right.
So this part coming up here is very interesting,
I'm pretty sure.
and I want you guys to check it out. And this wasn't supposed to happen, but it adds to the frightening factor, the fright factor, I guess.
So let me see that.
See, like it's just.
The camera is unfortunately blurry and won't focus, but it says we're driving on like nothing on my GPS, which this is like an older GPS too, so that was probably the case, but made it seem a lot more creepier, especially when the lines disappeared from the road
It's
here.
like a little area that I went into. Yeah, we're in a cul-de-sac right now. So
This part's cool, check this out.
out of here, make sure I don't drive off into a cliff. What the hell is that over there? Wait, did you see that?
I did.
What was that?
I don't know.
I don't have a light or anything on this camera, so I can't.
You want me to slide just like my flashlight out there?
Not really.
So that's a real thing. The camera was blurry,
Yeah, it was like white.
but if you go back, you can see something right before I say, what was that? That's a real thing. I didn't plan that shit. There's nobody out there,
Got it. But,
you know, I guess working for me. I believe it was like a deer. I think it was a deer because it's a heavily wooded area, and they kind of glow at night when you point your headlights at them. I think it was a deer at the edge of the forest because it looked like an animal. So that was a pretty cool thing that happened. Pretty creepy, and if you go back, you can kind of see it even though it's blurry. It looks like some kind of animal.
this is it.
So this part's cool. And I'll tell you what I did here to make it seem more real. So this is the Goat Farm Road place. This is the actual entrance, but it's private property now. So I didn't want to get shot by rednecks.
Wait, we won't stay too long. We'll check it out with the camera real quick.
So what I did was I cut here, and then I resumed filming
Okay.
at a local park.
We'll resume this when we get inside.
So this isn't Goat Farm Road after this
Okay,
part.
so,
This is just a local park, and we're walking in the woods. But it seems like we jumped the gate and we went in there. And this park is public, so.
In a future episode.
And there are some pretty cool wooded portions, and it looks just like it, so, you know. So I did tell my girlfriend at the time here that
Might get the hell out of here.
that there would be a friend of mine in the woods, and to don't
Wait,
like
stop.
shoot him or something.
What the hell is that?
And this is a friend of mine
What the fuck is
in a mask.
that?
And this is just us running, which she did a pretty good job of sounding scared there, honestly. Yeah.
I'll see you.
But yeah, overall, I was pretty happy about how that was filmed. I think that was the big, like, I don't know, turning point in the series. And it's kind of good that my camera was shitty and blurry, because not being able to see him clearly makes it a little more spooky. But that's just my friend Eric, you know, in the woods. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Alright guys, welcome back to my recordings director's commentary. This episode came about randomly.
Okay, hello everyone.
A friend of mine
got
posted
back
on
from bed at
Facebook
8 o'clock,
that their dog
and
carried
saw
a
this
severed
giant
deer
skull
head from the
here
woods
on the
onto their
ceiling
property.
because I wasn't expecting it.
I saw it
I'm
and
setting
said,
up right now.
I'll give you $10 for that
Let's
severed
see,
deer
I'm gonna
head.
Turn the flashlight here.
She was like, okay.
It's a severed deer head. That's what I think it is at least.
So this part
I
wasn't
don't
supposed to
know if here
happen,
I'm in the city limits.
but
There's no real
I saw an
woods
opportunity
around here.
and
don't
I
think
went
a
with it.
dog
So
would,
I live in a pretty rural area. Well, yeah, it's fairly
I
rural.
called the cops and they said they would.
And
grab
she
that
lives in an
animal
even more rural area. So
just to see if they could see anybody
people like to hunt,
suspicious wearing masks.
and they
around.
probably killed a deer and just, you know,
Not
cut
here
its head
now,
off, threw it in the
though.
woods, and then
I don't know if these people are waiting around.
the dog
no one's
went and got
around,
it.
or if they're just getting lucky, but
And
whatever they're
yeah.
doing.
So to people in the city, it might seem more creepy than it actually is, but it's not
I wouldn't
uncommon to
dare
see like a
actually
deer
talk
head,
to
you
an
know,
officer.
or whatever, just deer
Tomorrow, my
bones and
girlfriend
stuff.
actually knows one, and
But me being ever the
she's in a
opportunist,
situation, and I don't know if I'll
I
post
added
the
this as
video
an
if I
official part,
can.
and I think it went over pretty
Post
well.
Audio on YouTube because I kind of want to keep this private, but what I'm gonna do.
I didn't reveal what type of animal it was at the time. I think I said I think it's a
Sweet
deer head.
results or something.
Some people were saying it looks like a goat head, which is even more creepy. But I wanted just to give that little bit of confusion there. This ending text here starts adding to the kind of police subplot of the story. And I also checked the camera that was quote-unquote misplaced. It was actually stolen and footage was recorded on it. And I'll get to that on the next part. See you guys later. Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of my director's commentary for recordings. This is the footage from the blue camera that they want me to check out. Now, unfortunately, the original video, the uncensored version, has been taken down from YouTube because YouTube likes to censor any means of individual expression, pretty much. Before it was age gated, and most recently it was removed. But it is a pretty fucked up video. I just paid my friend Eric like $10 and said, "Hey, can you make me something fucked up and record it?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." This is the end result. Unfortunately, you can't see the awesome makeup work he did. Or at least most of it. But this is him. He wrapped himself in plastic and did makeup on his throat, slit his throat. Like, very convincing. But unfortunately, like, here he is in the bathtub with his throat slit, and I had to censor it because YouTube's not very good at anything. But I should have the original video on an old PC hard drive somewhere, so maybe I can re-upload it one day, or upload it to a different site. I mean, to be fair, it does kind of look like an actual murder, so maybe YouTube thought it was or something. I don't know, but it's just completely fake. A lot of people thought it was like a doll or like a dummy or something. I remember when I first uploaded this, but no, that's Eric. He's just a rather skinny guy, so this is just more drama with the police situation. But the police subplot I'll explain later because I think a lot of people didn't get it the first time I posted it. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hello everyone and welcome back to my director's commentary on the recording series. I took a break there for a few weeks,
I've been out of the house.
but I do want to finish the first season.
Just got back today.
So
Monday.
this is an interesting one.
I'm looking around the house.
I
mainly the
thought
windows,
what would be a really cool thing I could do for this series, and kind of out of a whim,
and
I
What is
bought
this?
these, I guess,
now
dummy hidden
this
cameras.
has actually been
These are actual hidden cameras, and I still have them to this day.
around the window.
Don't really have a use for
in
them
the living
because I'm
room.
not a secret agent.
And at first I'm thinking it's just a lighter one my friends left, you know.
But I thought this would be a really cool part
And
in the story. I picked that camera up for maybe like $20 too.
reluctant to
The recording quality is pretty
plug
pretty
anything
dog shit,
like this
but
into my computer because it could have a bug on it or something. But
I thought getting these little
honestly,
tiny
I think they have
cameras to put on my
something
place
on my computer anyway,
would
so just
add
plug
not
it in.
only a sense
See
of
what goes
realism,
on.
because it's very well thought out and very
There's
crafty,
nothing strange on it really, just
but it would also
thing
be
seems to
just
be
something
the
easy I
sound.
could make an episode on.
Activated. I'm not really sure. I was looking around the windows some more. And I
All the
found
dialogue
this
is basically
seems to
just
be another
it's
camera.
not really,
Not very
I'm not going off a
discreet.
script or anything. I
It's
just
fairly
have
dark,
bullet
you
points I
can't
try
see
to
it,
cover.
and I messed around with this one a little bit.
I tried to give as
Plugged it up
natural
to
as a reaction
USB
as I
thing
could
right here,
if I found
and
something like this in my
found
house
Very similar things, just
where I just sound
recordings.
kind of annoyed. There's a little bit of there's a hint of fright, I
And,
guess, in the back of my voice as well.
This seems to be motion activated, sound activated too.
I may cover the
in my
response
video
videos at
heavily
some
distorted
point.
it, but it's
YouTube
my
took that
voice,
feature
so you
off
can
without
pick it
any
up
real warning.
somehow.
So part of the story, the interaction is gone. So thank you, YouTube, for that. But back in the day, you could leave video responses. Not sure if anyone remembers those, but you could do that, and I would leave responses through this other channel to this channel to these videos, and it was like an interlooping story. It was really cool, but YouTube got rid of that feature. I have no clue why. I'm pretty sure a lot of people liked it too. But that's going to be it for this little commentary. I'll be back on the next one. You can read the rest of this episode if you want. Peace, guys. What's going on, guys? Back again with my recordings director's commentary.
We're gonna watch some Netflix.
This part came about completely randomly. And this part is legit 100% real. So I turned on Netflix with my girlfriend at the time to watch a show, and Death of a Ghost Hunter is on there.
It's at the front of my queue and it's rated 5 stars.
Front of my queue, 5 stars.
Title really fucking creeps
And
me
I
out.
have no idea how this got there.
And the only way to get
I think I was only sharing my Netflix with one other person at the time. He was not aware that I was doing this series for YouTube. I'm pretty sure. I mean, to this day, I have no idea how this got there. He could have done it and just lied and like, tried to freak me out or something. I don't know.
But this was on here.
It's not a very good movie, by the way. It kind of sucks balls. But that's not the point. The point is that this actually happened. To this day, I don't know how it appeared at the top of my queue. I certainly didn't add it. I mean, maybe I did when I was like really, really tired and I don't remember at all, but that seems kind of crazy to think about. Man, my old, this is from several years ago. My room has since changed. I still live in the same place. But man, I've gotten a lot more messy. Yeah, I asked him how he did this, like if he did it, and he said he didn't do it. And you can't like maneuver your queue, or you couldn't back then, back in like 2012, through the Xbox app. I don't think you can even now on most apps. Yeah, it wasn't my friend either that did it. My other friend Timmy. Like I said, guys, this was a weird one. This one kind of freaked me out. I kind of had a panic attack later that day because I was thinking like, oh my god, what if I'm making this series so realistic it's coming true, and people are gonna start like stalking me and shit. I was freaked out.
The 16th of December, so
This was actually 2011. Wow.
we're gonna go watch it and see what.
Didn't know it was that old. Thought it was 2012. But yeah, guys, weird part. Hope you enjoyed this take on it. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. What's going on, guys? I am back on my
Show where the EMFs are.
recordings director's commentary series.
On the scooter.
This, I think, is the episode I'm asked most about, actually.
Probably
Over the years, people have asked me how I filmed this and what was going on, and
above what the thing is.
again, I'm really proud of this one because
It's like probably
it's very realistic. And that's because it was real. I mean, not in the sense that I was actually being followed and, like, kind of chased, but
okay, so we're on the way
I simply got a friend of mine to
we're on the way back from
drive behind me for several miles.
what I was doing before,
And not just drive behind me, but, like,
and
eventually
driving for about
try to
45 minutes now.
I guess, drive like she was insane.
Has been following us the entire time. And I don't know
So she got her little Honda CRV thing, or whatever it is,
but it's
some SUV thing,
and we've made a
and
unique series of turns. So
followed me pretty closely and pretty diligently.
what's going on here? But we're on the way back home, and then of course
This was pretty hard to film. I was filming, I think, most of it. I had my girlfriend at the time as well. She actually fucks up later on, and it's pretty bad because this wasn't intentional, but I had to roll with it.
They're like right on our car.
yeah, they're trying to
Yeah, as you see, though, she's she's like right on my ass. I think I was speeding here too. This is my girlfriend holding the camera. I'm not holding the camera, looking back and driving. That would be kind of insane. This was a good night to do this though because it was so foggy, if you can tell. There's a lot of fog around in certain portions where I'm driving. So if you guys are wondering how I pulled this off, I live in rural NC, and this was around 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. So it's like nobody's on these roads really. There may be like one other person. This is a back road too, and if you're not familiar with rural areas, or at least rural NC, there are never any cops on these back roads. I've seen friends and stuff speed profusely down back roads. I've been in the cars with them, or I've followed them, or whatever, and they speed profusely. Never get caught. The cops really only stay on the main highways or the roads branching off from the main highways around here.
Yeah.
A rural back road like this, they're not gonna touch. Ever. Ever.
places. You never really look on the windowsills and stuff.
That's weird.
But yeah, this is just a rural back road at night. Nobody's really on it. No police officers. So we were able to do something a little bit illegal. I mean, I don't remember the exact documented speeds we were going, but I think I was going around 10 over around all these things. This is back when I had my little Ford Escort ZX2, which, for all the things bad about it, it took corners well. So I was able to speed around corners pretty diligently. And she was driving an SUV, so I'm not really sure how she was able to handle these, but
Yeah, I saw it in the.
she was just all over the road too, like going crazy. I mean, I didn't really pay her or anything, I don't think either. I think she was just bored. She had messaged me and was like, hey, I'm kind of bored. And I'm like, hey, you want to help me make a video? And she just went pretty all out on it. It looks pretty convincing though, I gotta say.
Talk to that cop a minute.
This is me and her talking about the police subplot.
Shit, if they pull this parking lot.
Well, I got a bat.
And we just basically winged all of this. Now here's where she messes up though.
Okay, they pulled in right behind us.
Yeah, she accidentally closes it. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Okay, they just drove off. I didn't catch the parking thing.
But I don't know if it actually helped or hurt the overall appeal of it. I guess it would be less scary if you saw it was just a shitty Honda CRV or something, but
I'm pretty sure that was them.
I don't know, she didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean for her to do that. I wasn't about to. I guess I could have called her back to film it again, but there would have been a cut. I didn't want it to be cut there, you know? So I just rolled with it because I think watching it back, it was pretty cool how she closed it right there and then it comes back and all that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode on my recordings director's commentary. This episode was nearing the end. I would have brought you the one before this one with my thoughts on it, but unfortunately, YouTube wouldn't let me download it, and I don't have the original files anymore. So if that gets fixed and I can download it, I'll try, but it just downloads like 10 kilobytes of content. It's strange. YouTube's glitchy though, so. This was near the end, however. This was a pretty cool part. In the last part, if I don't get to do commentary on that, I basically went to this area that they told me to go to that I was afraid of, essentially, because of my fear of deep water. I'm not sure the exact term. That's actually a real fear I have. I do have a fear of deep water. When I was younger, I almost drowned in a... I didn't almost drown, but I had a really bad experience in a swimming pool where I like jumped in the deep end and sank, and I guess I did almost drown, but that's beside the point. This episode's really dark. They essentially broke into my house. I sleep with a fan on, so it's more realistic that way. Normally, you know, if you hear somebody breaking into your house, you can just get up and smack them with a bat or something. Me, however, I sleep with a fan on full blast. I need the noise to help me sleep, so cuts out a lot of the ambient noises outside, and if they have like a key or something, I'm not gonna hear them come in. At the time, I didn't have a dog or any kind of pet either. So this is just me and my girlfriend sleeping. Quote unquote sleeping. These are two of my friends though in the masks right now. I had like very different casting for the people in the masks, actually. So it's not always the same person in the masks if you see him in the masks. Whoever was available at the time, pretty much. This is a rather short, easy to do part that's pretty creepy. Them just like watching us sleep for a second and waving.